QHHT? Who came up with the idea? What's it all about? I'll share it with you in this video. You may have heard of Dolores Cannon, and she has certainly made her mark in the world. She developed this hypnosis technique, QHHT, which is now being taught all over the world through her daughter, Julia Cannon, who's gone on to be the director of the school, and she's continuing the great work of Dolores Cannon. I studied it myself. I'm now a level 2 practitioner, and I tell you what, not a day goes by that I'm not blown away by the healing that happens in a session. You know, I always say to my clients right off the bat is that it's not me that is doing the healing. The practitioner is merely a facilitator of a natural healing process that occurs for the client. So it's not a healing that is being administered, it's a healing that is being created within the person that is having a session. So Dolores is quite an amazing person. You know, she's written over, I think it's 20 plus books, and some of these books are quite intensive, and they, you know, she put hours and hours, probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours, putting together the information that she compiled from all of the sessions that she had done with clients, and particular clients that had come in and worked with Dolores over a period of time brought forth really in-depth, informative, unconventional information that has really sparked definitely a movement of higher consciousness, higher awareness. So I'd encourage you to get hold of her books. I aren't one that will sit down and read and be able to focus for hours and hours, so I actually consumed most of her material by listening to her audio books. Most of them are now available on audio book, and particularly Audible. That's where I download them on. So I'd encourage you to get hold of some of these books. The Convoluted Universe is amazing, and it lives up to the name, convoluted, because it surely is full of convoluted information. It's really interesting. It's quite mind-blowing, and I can't even do it justice by explaining, but I'll break down in some further series on some of the information that was coming through in those videos. But to answer the question is, what happens in a typical session? What is a session about, and what can someone typically expect from having a session? It's a good question, so I want to answer that for you. Generally, people come with a need. So it might be an emotional thing, it could be a physical ailment, it could be maybe looking for life purpose and direction. In fact, that's probably the number one reason people come for a session. They're looking for the answer to that question. What is my life's purpose? Why am I here? What am I actually supposed to be doing? And they need those questions answered. Certainly for me, that was one of the questions that I had come into a session. And I tell you what, I'm doing what I am doing today because I had a session, and I wouldn't be here if I hadn't had it. I certainly wouldn't be facilitating QHHT, but I certainly wouldn't be in my life's purpose, which is to raise awareness, to help people, to be a guide and a teacher, to impart that wisdom into people's lives. So QHHT has certainly had a profound effect on my life. I know it's going to on yours, and I'd encourage all of you listening, if you're considering having a session, don't give it a second thought. It is going to be a life-changing experience for you. So what can you expect? Well, believe it or not, sessions go for about 4 to 5, yeah, that's right, 4 to 5 hours long. I know it seems like, wow, that is a long time. The reason it goes for so long, and I always like to break this down to clients, is that it's so imperative that the client builds rapport and trust with the practitioner. The client practitioner relationship is so important, and trust, as in most areas of our life, particularly the intimate ones, is so imperative to have that. In order for someone to really open up and share from their life experience, they need to know that that information is protected, that they're sharing, that it's in a environment that's conducive to a trusting one. So the practitioner, in my case myself, will sit down with a client for about 2 hours, and I don't talk much, believe it or not, and I wholeheartedly listen to the client share their story, share everything that has affected their life up until the point of time of sitting before me or another practitioner. And you know, that is quite healing for a lot of people. You'd be surprised, many people have never had an opportunity to be fully heard by another human being. So this process in itself is profoundly healing for that person that is being heard, maybe for the first time, of everything that they've experienced in their life up until that point. So we start the session by creating trust, creating an environment to be heard, and then the client will be in a relaxed enough state to be able to be ready to go through the journey of hypnosis. And it really starts off going through a visualization, I like to call it visualization exercise, where they begin to just allow the relaxation process to occur. Really similar to when you actually fall asleep at night. So this process is actually really natural. I think a lot of people, you might say this now, I don't know if I can be hypnotized, I don't know if I'll be able to go into that state. If you can fall asleep at night, if you can relax enough at night, you'll certainly be able to go through this journey. And I think it will happen really easy for you when you've established that trust with the practitioner. So we go through this exercise, this visualization exercise, and then we begin to often go into a past life. Sometimes it's a different dimension, sometimes it's a future life. I really don't like to put on the client an expectation of where we will go. It's like an adventure. You never know where you're going to end up. And for every session that I facilitate, it's really exciting because we never know where we're going to go. We're going on an adventure, and what generally happens is the higher self, or the SC, superconscious, will always provide for the client the most relevant life or experience or dimension that actually has something to teach them about the current incarnation. So there's always a message for them to learn from that past life. We sometimes go into 2 past lives or different dimension, whatever it is, or maybe it's sometimes, and this is seeming to be happening more often, it may be a past event in the current lifetime that is relevant to their life in the present, and it might be a past trauma that needs to be healed. It may be an event that happened that has been long forgotten. So then we move into the next section, which is getting in touch with the SC or the higher self. And the client will bring questions, a long list of questions, as many as they like, into the session that they want answered. So I'll give you an example. It may be, what is my life purpose? Why did this particular event happen to me in the past? It could be stuff around relationships. How do I improve this? Is this person right for me? Whatever it is. And from the higher perspective, the higher self, or maybe spirit guides or others that come in and assist in the process, will bring out or bring forth the information that they are seeking. to be really honest with you, and I've been practicing this for some time now, everyone always gets exactly what they need. All of their questions are really answered. And that's what's really consistently powerful about these sessions, is someone can come into a session with a lot of questions and they've not been able to find in a conscious state the answers to all of these things. It's amazing to see that the answers do lie within all of us. It's just needing a facilitation in order to connect with those answers that do lie inside of us. And this is why QHHT is such a powerful method that we can use, and that we can unlock a lot of the stuff that we seek in our lives. The other thing is, which is so powerful from these sessions, is the healing that can take place. So another list of questions I would ask a client to bring into a session is, what are the physical ailments that are bothering you? What are the things that are chronic? What are the things you can't maybe treat, that you are no longer wanting to have in your experience? And so these even are, I've seen miraculous transformations, healings take place in this state, and it's all coming from the client or from the higher self to the client. I'm not doing the healing, or the practitioner doesn't do the healing. We just facilitate the process of healing, which is probably the most natural healing that can be done, the natural form. Has that got you excited? I get even excited talking about it, because I believe in this method so much, and I'm so grateful for Dolores that she brought this wonderful gift into our planet, into our world, and that it's being practiced every single day all over the planet. So if you haven't had a QHHT session, I can't strongly enough advise you, absolutely, you need to have one. You need to use this in your own life. You want to see healing. You want to see transformation. You want to get direction, get answers in your life. QHHT is probably one of the, if the most, the best form that you can have that in. So contact me if